Excuse for the stain, I had a wrap earlier and it had my sriracha mayonnaise in it, and you know that stuff, once it hits food, smoosh. Well, anyway, first vlog in a long time. We used to do reviews. You may have realised I've either gained or lost some weight since then. I personally think I gained, but I'm going through a few things today. First, my beauty regime, like, you know, how my skin has gotten so amazing, and don't tell me it hasn't, because it used to be awful. I mean, dark spots, panda eyes, you name it. It used to be really crap. And then I'm going to share my medication because it's medication day. I need to go and put all my pills into one thing. I haven't had my lunch ones yet, so whoopsie daisy. Yes, I put it in quite a colourful thing just to cheer me up, like, you know, I'm taking pills now. And my hair has got a lot longer too. I'm going for inverted bob, so you might in a few weeks time, so if I suddenly change, please forgive me. It's just how it is. Ooh, pardon me. Now, let's start with the regimes. Okay. Most people will have this prepared. I'm just sending out times doing this camera. Like, see? It keeps going wobbling off. Okay, well, most of it is to do with water. I have a little bit of juice in here, and then sorry if this wobbles a bit, we've got the fan on, so it makes everything a bit wobbly, especially things like this. So I have that. I also have iced teas, which I will show you up there. I've got the black tea, peach and apricot flavour, and then the rose lemonade cold infused from Twinings. So I've got Lipton and Twinings. They're both good. Now, first of all, like, apologies for the stain again, it really does annoy me seeing this. I couldn't be asked to change shirts because, let's face it, it's more washing, and I don't want to give my mother-in-law more washing. Anyway, I have this. This is papaya hair food. Really great for just a leave-in, like, you know, just about walnut size, full in your hand, and that goes on the ends of your hair. Mine's a bit crappy right now due to the humidity. You know, humidity and hair just doesn't go well together, so that's good. So that's just a general thing, like, you know, oh, my hair's feeling a bit grassy, add that to it. At the moment it feels pretty good. Feels pretty good. And if you wonder, I only wash my hair 2 to 3 times a week. It depends on you, but I find that due to the fact it's much darker, it doesn't get greasy as much, and styling is a lot easier. If I want to, because I do, usually if I have the time, I'll hair dry it and then straighten it, and that's just to give it a bit of more oomph, as you can see. And as you can see, my hair is totally flicking right today. It's just not wanting to do that. So let's get on to the beauty regime. We have Nip and Fab's Vitamin C Fix Brightening Pads. You get 60 of these, use it twice a day, morning and night, and then voila, your skin just, you know, tightens a bit, it gets a bit more glowy. I got this as a set, so I also got their serum, which one pump does your whole face. You don't need to do any more. I do half pumps, so I can do left side and right side. Then it's just a lot easier instead of just smoothing it across your face and not missing some parts. Like, I don't really need it on my nose because my nose is already quite small and doesn't need really the tucking. So, but I do find I do get panda eyes and all that. Yeah. I found these again. I was so happy when I found them because these are my preferred glasses. They're so much nicer. They're made of metal. I do like the plastic ones. In my Hannah, I got these ones as well. I have to say, Specsavers, love you, just love you. So anyway, I use that serum. Then else in the morning I have another serum, which is the Revitalift from L'Oreal. It's a bit more expensive. I would say it's a bit more watery too, so I would rather go for Nip and Fab, but I do put this on just because I have paid for it, and I see more with Nip and Fab in the past few weeks than I have for this, but still use it. Use what's worth your money and all that. like I said, this has only been like a past year that I've decided to say I'm going to eat a bit better, and my skin get a bit better as well. Like, you know, I've got the double chin, but most of my family has, just at a general weight and genetics. So I've just accepted it. I have got a short chin and I've got a short neck, and there's nothing you can change with that without major surgery. So I don't mind. If I sit backwards enough like this, I don't mind. I don't really much care. So finally, Garnier Skin Active Moisture Balm. This was not bad for the price. I think it was about $6.99, so not too bad. Still prefer Nip and Fabs, but this is it's not as big as it looks, which really annoys me. This is not the outside. This is just a piece of plastic around it, and then it's got like a tub in the middle. I'd rather they, you know, use the whole thing because it feels a bit of waste of plastic for me. But to each your own. Garnier has been brilliant for my skin and hair. I'm not going to complain that much. Okay, so back to the night routine. I have these two again, Nip and Fabs pad and serum, because it's twice a day. And then in the evening, use their tonic, which is, you know, just get a pad, or like me, I currently have my magic cleaner, face cleaner pad, which, you know, gets rid of makeup just with water. It's just one of those things which have got micro things for their pad, so I just use that, and I just put this on my face, and it does the same as the pads, but just a bit more concentrated. So it's just double on that at night. And then I got 2 sets of Nivea stuff, which I love Nivea. Get it for like £3, and it blooming works, honestly. Blooming works. Sorry, itchy. Okay, so first I start with the regenerating night cream. It's alright, it's quite thick, it's all natural, so you know that and it fills up to the entire pot, so you do get your money's worth. This has been with me for about 6 months already, and due to my brain and my forgetfulness, it's lasted a lot longer than it should, but I'm quite happy. But then afterwards, because it's a sleeping melting mask, Q10, this was just a little bit more expensive, but like I said, fills the whole thing to getting your money's worth. And honestly, Nivea have always done quite good stuff, especially if you've got very skin like mine. So like, I get acne on my arms instead of my face, which is really annoying. I used to have this like witch hazel, that was it. I used to have this witch hazel stuff, which used to be fantastic, but by God, I can't afford it. It's just like, I don't want to spend £20 on one thing. I will only do, I spent about that much on the Nip and Fabs, but I'm getting something a bit more like reactive, like, you know, you see it after your first try, like, wow, my skin, because I've got it's one thing I'm really insecure about, especially in hot weather. Down my arms here, I get bubbles, like, you know, scars. I've got scars down here because we're going into something deep here, because we've had quite deep things on my streams the past few days, the past few times. Either my stepfather or my father used to drown me in a bathtub, and due to that, whenever I go into a shower, I get this redness come out here, and they say it's like a chlorine reaction or something, but my skin has been scarred from, I think, from where they used to hold me. I can't remember it at all, but apparently that was one of the reasons why I was put into the system, because the people realised that me and my sister were being fairly abused, like, you know, bruises and all that. So hence I'm a little self-conscious when it comes to the summer, because the heat and the humidity break it out, like it breaks out like acne, but you can't, like, you know, put an acne cream on it or anything like that. I've tried, because in the past I didn't know. I actually didn't know. It was not till I was like 15, 16 that my adoptive parents told me that what they did, and it didn't quite help, because, sorry if there's a reflection of these, I haven't got the anti-reflection in them. It didn't quite help, because then I learned a few things. Like, when I was 16, I had my first consensual intercourse, and a few hours later I learnt from, I think, my adopted parents again, one of the other things that we were put into the system for was that we were possibly sexually attacked. Yeah, I've no contact with my father, Heather, since literally, I've had contact with my birth mother, but I've not contacted my birth father, because it was either him or my uncle. And learning that I had to learn the hard way. It was like, everyone bleeds. That's what I learned. Everyone bleeds their first time. I didn't bleed. And I was thinking, what's wrong with me? Why am I not bleeding? And so I learned really in the real hard way that I had been assaulted as a child by people who I should have trusted. And it came into a situation where, from what I've gathered, my birth father was split. He wanted custody. She didn't want him to get custody because he was also violent. Hence the bruises that we were getting. But the court said he had the right to have at least us on the weekends or something like that, because he was the father and all that. But then there was a singular choice from my birth mother: either go with what the court said or put us in the system. And neither were a good choice. I can tell you, being in the system, kids know you're not normal. I found out I was not normal by the time I got to the adoptive family. I remember most of that. I had an accident when I was younger, so I completely don't have any memory of myself before 8, I think. Well, anyway, when I think I was 11 when I went into private school, and that's when I realised I was bisexual. Like, you know, what's the difference between girls and boys, really? Like, you know, they're both really hot, they're both, like, super attractive to me. And so that's how things got sort of progressed, because not only was I mentally different, I now was sexually different in a way where I was the first one to hit puberty, and I was like 11. Yeah, I was 11 when I was hit puberty. I know the exact date. It was Halloween, because I was bleeding, and I literally went to my adoptive mother and went, "What's wrong with me?" Because it's not until year 7 in the UK do you actually get the talk about sexual stuff. But I had to learn it a lot earlier, because it was a lot, because I had hit puberty a year earlier than I should have. So there's always a bunch of, like, you know, awkwardness there, because not only was I now in a completely girls' school, I was now bleeding at school. So, like, you know, I couldn't get myself excused from PE because if I was on a period. Because let's face it, those even though the school uniforms were, like, you know, really nice, I hated the PE uniforms. They were super revealing of if you were on your period or not. You know, like this, like the clingy cycle shorts sort of things, like things that would ride up, and you're just like, no, let us have loose. Let's wear the trousers instead. But I think it was just because those were the economic, like, right thing to wear if you wanted to be the best in a certain sport, which I understood, but I would have preferred bloomers. So yeah, I was going down this stage then where I had to mature faster, but then my brain wouldn't. So I started. That's when I started having my hallucinations. Like, one of my hallucinations was I would see a horse because we had like this badger valley in front of our house, and I would see this white horse go by, and to me it was normal. So I was used to call him a unicorn just out of cutesy, like being cute and all that. But then my classmates would tease me, and I just like, well, it could be Mr. B, a horse that my sister would ride up at a local riding school. I was just taking the piss, but they took the piss more, and I was just like, guys, it was just a joke. So I just carried on the joke. They didn't really care. So I didn't know it was hallucination. I didn't know that I had a psychosis. I didn't know I was borderline personality disorder. I didn't know I was depressed. I didn't know that I had fibromyalgia. I didn't know that I would eventually have an epileptic seizure. I went through a lot of crap in my teenage years, and people expected me to just be fine, be okay, which I wasn't. I ditched a lot of days of school because I couldn't handle it. And then in my last year, my body burnt out around Christmas. Like, we were focusing on GCSEs. We had to do well, and my body went, no, you can't keep burning yourself like this at two ends. Because I still wanted my anime. I still wanted to be part of the anime community at the time. I was a super anime fan when I was 16. None of my school friends understood it, of course. None of them were that type of nerd. They were really nerdy, like, I know everything in the textbook type of nerd. I was more like One Punch Man versus, let's say, a Super Saiyan. Like that. I wasn't even interested in Twilight. I was like, it's a vampire and a werewolf. Have you seen some of the animes? Alucard, much better than Edward Cullen. Much hotter too. So that was me. I tried to be normal and carry on, but then I got bullied in my last year. Started coming home with bruises, and at the same time, just a week before we were closing up for school for holidays, I collapsed from having a fever. I was lying in the corridor, my hands to my head, because all I could hear was gunshots. Like, like it was like a gunshot going through my head over and over. That's all I could hear. And when a teacher finally met me, they knew I was always sick and all that, and they treated me like, oh, she's just faking it. And I'm like, I'm not faking it. I have been sick every single time you said it. And they didn't understand that I was in a lot of pain. So when my adopted dad came to pick me up, he thought, oh, she's faking it again. She's faking sickness. No, he saw me and went, crap, she's super sick. I had fully burnt out within the first 3 months of school. And okay, I had to stop my anime for a while. School was more important. I needed to get my GCSEs. I went to a camp, but I was off for about a week and a half. I had missed some important parts of school, like some events, like at Christmas. We always went. It was the first time the school was going to a new church, because they would always go to church for a Christmas service. So I missed that out because I couldn't go. If I'd gone, I would have probably keeled over. It's probably good because now I have got agoraphobia. I can't handle big crowds. Imagining how big that would have been, I probably would have keeled over just from sheer anxiety. But yeah, it's a lot. People don't understand that a lot of things happen to a lot of people, and I'm in a situation where I can't work. The government said, no, you can't work. I can go to work if I want to, but I wouldn't be able to hold a job down for more than 2 weeks, because eventually I'd be coming home, falling asleep and doing that. I wouldn't be having a life. So streaming at the moment is my job. Monday, Wednesday and Fridays I'm happy to stream 100 baby challenge because it's something to do in the day. I'm still doing a degree just because then I can say I've got a degree. I've studied hard for it, because you know, I have A levels, I have GCSEs. What's stopping me from getting a degree? I'm starting in October, which will be brilliant. It'll be my 2nd year. I officially now know what I want to do. Like, you know, I thought, oh well, I'll just go back into my psychology and criminology past, because I started that before family issues made me leave. Because the problem was, now I'm in an environment where they're fully supportive of what I do and who I am, but where I was before wasn't. Like, you know, if I told them I was bi, I don't think they would have been happy. I think they would have gone, why? And it's like, there's no why, it's who I am. And I think people don't understand that about gay people. It's like, it's not like we want to be, no, it is what we want to be, but it's who we are. We never decided completely. We just went and looked at somebody and went, wow, actually, yeah. And that's what happened to me. I just went and saw somebody and I went, you know what? Majorly cute. Majorly, I would have a relationship with that person. So that's what it's like. You don't really have to have this elaborate thing to say, oh, you're gay. Some people do, because they need to have more of a reason than others, and others are just like, okay. But I know the people in my past would not be accepting. They wouldn't be accepting of who I am. Now, you know what? Yeah, my health is not great, as I can show you. Those are my weekly pills. This will last me 2 or 3 weeks, and then I have to get more. And some of them I have to buy myself. So like sleeping pills, vitamins, but strong ones, because I can't have the normals, because I've got normal ones but they're not as strong, and I need an extra iron in mine because I'm slightly anemic. Extra strength fish oil. See, omeprazole, gabapentin, which is a legally controlled drug. You can't just get it, you have to actually have a prescription for it. Nebevarine, I go through, let's see, 3 times 7, which is 21. I go through 21 of those a week. Okay. Citalopram, go through 1 of those a week. 7 of those a week. Stemacil, which is also known as prochlorperazine. Go through 21 of these a week and taste bitter as hell. It stopped me from throwing up. And I know there's another one in here, but I think I've got them all. Yeah, that's all of them. And mother-in-law has like 10 times this. People get sick, and if you don't look after yourself, you end up with this. I've been sick most of my life, and it's only past 3 years I've realised how ill I was. And this is what I should have been having when I was about 6 years old. So don't ignore it. Don't ignore when someone says they're not well. If someone keeps skipping school, ask why. It could be mental, it could be physical. There's always a reason why people stay home from school, and it isn't because they want to play video games or read books or, you know, toss about. There's usually another reason underlying. Because I loved school. I loved it. I loved learning. But when it came to PE, when it came to my life, school was a way out for me, so I didn't have to spend time at home. I even went to after school clubs. I went to homework club just so I wouldn't spend time at home, because it was, you know what, I'll explain it in my next vlog about how bad things got. But I think that's for me for now. Comment down below what sort of name you want me to call you guys, because I think viewers, fam, it's a bit weird. My name is Kaitou Rose. You guys can call me Rose in the comments, but thank you for listening, watching, commenting, liking and subscribing.